Welcome everyone to another video of Views from the Stands. Host here, Guns, aka G-Man-G Blazing, if you follow me on the socials. And we're going to be mainly talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to preview the Super Bowl. Before the preview of the Super Bowl, we're also going to quickly chat about Billy O going to Boston College versus Ohio State now, and Chip Kelly going to Ohio State. So we'll talk about those two things, and then we'll highlight the NFL awards as well. I kind of got a couple thoughts on that, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into the Billy O and Chip Kelly, right? So Billy O'Brien. If you're wondering who Billy O is, he was the OC for the Patriots, and for about a month he was rumored or basically connected to go to Ohio State as the offensive coordinator. Ryan Day is going to give up play calling duties and be more of a head coach, and well, the Packers hired the BC head coach, Jeff Hatley. I believe that's how you say the last name. And he is now obviously the defensive coordinator. Great defensive mind guy. And you're seeing this across the landscape right now, where head coaches in college, or just coaches in general in college, do not want to go through the 24/7 headache really in recruiting and IL, what's going on in today's world. So a lot of uncertainty in that area. So he, goes to the Packers, and so BC becomes an opening. He was there living there in Boston, so he's not far from Boston College, and he gets the job to be the head coach for Boston College. And I mean, all jokes aside, I think this is a good hire. We'll see how he can uh, get going with recruiting and whatnot. What his staff looks like, that's obviously important. But he did pretty solid at Penn State, given what happened there and the sanctions prior and what transpired. You could definitely have a similar situation here where he rallies the troops and gets things going. So uh, we'll see what happens again. A lot of things need to play out from now till next season. So we will definitely find out. The next one is Chip Kelly, man. Chip Kelly going to be the offensive coordinator now for Ohio State. So instead of Billy O, since he's the head coach, we have a head coach going to be an offensive coordinator. So this man, he just didn't want to recruit. Wasn't all about it again. Didn't want to have all this, stress and workload on him when he just wanted to essentially call plays. That's basically what he wants to do. He just wants to coach football and not have to deal with the, administrative stuff, if you want to call it, off the field, right? So I think, in my opinion, great hire more than the Billy O, right? I mean, Chip Kelly's offenses are pretty freaking insane. So um, he's gonna. I'm glad as a USC fan we do not have them now officially on our schedule, Ohio State. So um, it's just mind blowing to see that, right? You see a current head coach. I mean, he's still in the college landscape and just want to be head coach. So that in itself is just crazy. But it's Chip Kelly. But at the same time, this is a plus for Ohio State. So kudos to them to get this done and have him not be a head coach anymore. But yeah, more to come on that as well. Just like with Billy O and how the teams look. Next one, guys. So NFL. So NFL awards. So we're just going to quickly go down and just kind of chat about who won the award, give my thoughts and whatnot. And, if anyone should have had them or not, right? So the first one we're going to talk about here is the MVP. All right, MVP was Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. I think this is basically a no-brainer. People were kind of complaining a little bit on maybe like the votes and whatnot. That is what it is. There, I can totally understand their side on that, but I think he deserves to be the winner in my opinion. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. no arguments here. I mean, the dude is a beast, and he is the reason why the Niners are in the Super Bowl. Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm glad we're bringing this one up now. So the the winner was Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns. Okay, and I'll say this first: he is a very, very talented defensive player. He deserves all the recognition that he has gotten and getting, and in the future. However, you cannot tell me T.J. Watt did not deserve the Defensive Player of the Year over Myles Garrett. 23 sacks, guys. We'll go over some of them. Tackles. We had about 26 more tackles than Myles Garrett. 15 of those being soloed. 5 more sacks. 2 more tackles for losses. 6 more QB hits. 2 more fumble recoveries. 5 more passes defended. He had an interception. He also had a touchdown. He had 4 takeaways versus the 1 takeaway. I mean, you can just look at all the other stats. I mean, tackles on run plays, blah, blah, blah. Tackles for loss on run plays. I mean, he didn't have that many forced fumbles, right? I mean, I don't understand honestly, the disrespect that T.J. Watt has gotten from the NFL. So this one, totally don't agree with. Again, I respect Myles Garrett, but I mean, you can tell like there was an agenda here at the end of the day. Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud, deserved. I mean, I don't think anyone, deserves it over him. I mean, the dude's a monster. Always liked him, especially back in college. And yeah. Next one, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson. So this one, I can understand it, but at the same time, if you want to look at stats, though, I mean, you could definitely make an argument that Kobe Turner, shout out to Eric Henderson, who developed him. He had 12 more combined tackles and 2 more sacks. And Kobe Turner is more of like, I think, an inside player, I believe. So, I mean, that says a lot. I had a better PFF grade if you're big on that as well. So, I could definitely see the argument on the Kobe Turner case. And even Jalen Carter, right? I think those 3 are special talents in this game. Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski. Honestly, you can't argue this one, in my opinion. 11-6 record. They had so many injuries. Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, O-line, everything. So, yeah. I mean, kudos to him and his staff. Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Flacco. I can understand this one as well, but it is pretty interesting that Damar Hamlin did not get this one. He was actually even the betting favorite. Obviously, at times, right, the odds do change based on how the bets are going and whatnot. But, yeah, we won't talk too much on this one, but that one was interesting. And then lastly, Walter Payton, Player of the Year, was my guy Cam Hayward. Shout out to Cam for what he's doing there in Pittsburgh. So shout out to him again. All right, guys. Lastly, we're gonna talk about is Super Bowl 58, boys and girls, and so the spread started at 1.5. It's at 2.5 now for San Fran. Started at San Fran, so it's basically always been on San Fran's side. Over and unders at 47.5. It's basically been there from the jump. So for starters, we're just gonna say it straight up. I'm going with the Chiefs, and it's basically how both teams have been playing throughout the postseason and the later half of the regular season. Last 4 of the 5 games, the Niners have scored 28 points, basically under 30 points. Uh, the Chiefs, very, very underrated defense, especially on that secondary. I don't think that secondary gets enough credit. Obviously, the Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, Willie Gaze, right, and whatnot. But they have some underrated guys on that defense. The Niners have started slow their last 2 playoff games, and if you start slow and give the Chiefs a lead, the Mahomes in that defense is not going to give up that lead, in my opinion, and that is the big reason why I like the Chiefs in this game. Um, Honestly, I got a feeling this game could go to overtime. It's going to be a closely tight game potentially. That would be, very unique to see, from a fan's perspective. Uh, but I like the Chiefs. I'm going to stay away from the over under because I can see both sides. I can see this game being a shootout. I could be this game being more defensive and it hits right under like 24-21 type deal, right? Um, but I'm just going to stay away from the over and from a betting perspective. But I'm hammering the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. Can't bet against Mahomes. I bet against him with the Bills this year in the playoffs, and it bit me basically. So you can't do it. And looking forward to this game on Sunday, guys. So I hope you guys are excited for this game on Sunday. Obviously, I'm excited for this game on Sunday. But before Sunday, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video and the channel. We would appreciate that. We always appreciate you guys' support throughout this journey. And enjoy this Super Bowl weekend, guys. Peace.